Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're looking at something that honestly feels a lot like magic, but is actually completely 100% grounded in human psychology. We're going to explore the absolutely fascinating approach of mentalist Oz Perlman. Now, he's billed as one of the world's greatest mind readers, right? He performs these incredible feats that just leave audiences completely baffled. But here's the secret we're unpacking today. He's not actually reading minds at all. Instead, he's reverse engineering human behavior. And you know what the best part is? The exact same techniques he uses on a brightly lit stage can be used by you and me in our everyday lives to connect better, remember more, and truly understand the people around us.
I can't read minds. What I can do is read people. This right here is the foundational rule for everything we're about to learn today. Perlman gets asked constantly, if he was born with some sort of supernatural powers or if he's a psychic, and the answer is an absolute definitive no. What he possesses is a highly learnable skill. It's basically the result of roughly 3 decades of just intense, laser-focused observation. He operates on a really simple premise. If he knows how you think, he knows what you think. So it's not magic, it's really just a hyper-awareness of the subtle little cues we all give off every single day.
Section 1, not magic, just reading people. Let's move on, because to really understand how this works, we first need to see it in action.
I want you to play along with me for just a second. Check out the question here. If you could have dinner with someone famous, dead or alive, past or present, who would that person be? I want you to literally make a choice right now. Don't overthink it, just pick someone. Let's give you a deadline for creativity. 3, 2, 1. Okay, do you have them clearly in your mind's eye? Good. During a recent presentation, Perlman asked his audience to do exactly this. He then picked a few random people who had a really clear image in their heads, including 2 guys named Jeff and Ian. Now, how on earth does a mentalist start to figure out who these totally random strangers are thinking of? Well, he starts by just splitting the odds. Dead or alive, it's a 50-50 coin flip, right? And this brilliantly illustrates the power of observation. Perlman looks at Jeff and immediately knows his person is alive. How? Because when you think of someone who is alive and well, your physiology actually reacts. Your heart beats just a little bit faster in your chest, the blood flows, you get a little warmer, and you naturally kind of form a boisterous smile. Jeff was just effervescent. But on the flip side, Perlman looked at Ian and immediately got, well, dead guy vibes. When you think of someone deceased, you often feel a literal shiver go right down your neck. On top of that, Ian had his hands kind of lingering in his pockets. And according to Perlman, this specific body language is a really strong indicator of a guy-to-guy interaction. So just by looking at physical temperature, smiling, and hand placement, he correctly guessed Jeff was thinking of someone alive and Ian was thinking of a deceased male. Pretty wild, right?
Section 2, the name-forgetting problem. Guessing a historical figure is a really great party trick, but let's pivot this explainer to an everyday struggle where these exact same skills apply.
We have absolutely all been there. You're at a party or maybe, a high-stakes work event. You walk up to somebody new, you look them right in the eye, you shake their hand, you introduce yourselves, and literally 1 second after they say their name, your brain goes completely blank. You have completely, utterly forgotten it. It's incredibly relatable, and it makes us feel like we just have a terrible, terrible memory. But here is a massive truth bomb for you. You didn't forget the name. You never knew it in the first place. Perlman points out that this isn't a memory issue at all. The actual problem is a lack of active listening. See, at the exact moment the person is telling you their name, your brain is way too busy planning. You're standing there thinking, wait, do I know this person? Or what am I going to say next? You aren't actually listening to them. Perlman uses this really great visual for this. Imagine trying to write a name in the beach sand with a tiny little twig. The very first wave just washes it right away. If you want to remember it, you need to carve it in with a really thick branch.
Section 3, listen, repeat, reply. This right here is the highly practical, actionable memory framework that is the real superpower of our explainer. From this day forward, you literally never have to forget a name again if you just follow this specific, structured technique.
To actually remember this framework, we're going to lean into the back of every single shampoo bottle you've ever owned. Shampoo instructions are a masterclass in brilliant, unforgettable marketing. Think about it. What does it say? Lather, rinse, repeat. Right? Lather makes it smell good, rinse makes it clean, and repeat, well, actually that just sells more product. But the rhythm of that catchphrase is absolutely perfect. We are going to repurpose that exact rhythm for our memory. Let's see how this builds our new mental habit. Step 1, listen. Step 2, repeat. Step 3,
reply. I know it sounds obvious, but trust me, the execution is everything here. When you meet someone new, step 1 requires you to make your mind go completely blank for 2 full seconds. Stop planning your next sentence, just truly, actively listen to the sound of their name. Step 2, repeat. You're going to say their name twice back to them out loud. So if she says Ashley, you say, Ashley, is that right? Great to meet you, Ashley. This repetitively ingrains it in your brain, and bonus, it confirms you're actually pronouncing it correctly.
Step 3 is the reply, and this is the magic moment where we fully cement the name. You can use one of 3 techniques here. First up, a compliment. Ashley, I love those earrings. Boom. Now your brain creates a visual indicator. She is Ashley with the earrings. Second option, a spelling question. Do you spell Ashley with an E-I-G-H or an E-Y? You're physically forcing your brain to visualize the letters. Or third, you can use a personal connection. Ashley, that's so funny. My cousin is married to an Ashley. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does your cousin actually need to be married to an Ashley? Absolutely not. You can completely make the whole thing up, but the act of forming that associative link means you will never, ever forget her name.
Section 4, categorizing limitless possibilities. Let's shift back to the mind-reading stage for just a moment to see exactly how mentalists organize all this data in their heads, because this is a fantastic tool you can use for your own problem solving. When someone thinks of a famous person, the possibilities seem completely limitless, right? Millions of people. But a mentalist takes the limitless and breaks it down into really simple categories. Are they a historical figure, a singer, a movie star, maybe an athlete, a comedian, a politician? During his show, Perlman was reading an audience member named Ninjera. By mentally running through these basic categories and just observing her really subtle physical reactions, he quickly narrowed down that she was thinking of a singer. Breaking massive problems down into distinct, manageable categories is exactly how you find the needle in the haystack. But as we all know, human minds are super messy, and people change their minds all the time. Perlman actually asked Ninjera who she was thinking of, and she said Bob Dylan. But Perlman caught something using what he calls the grass is greener approach. He watched her eyes. Seriously, when someone changes their mind, you can literally see their eyes shift as they discard one thought for another one. He noticed she originally had someone completely different in mind before switching to Bob Dylan at the last second. And because he caught that tiny, split-second visual cue, he was able to call her out and correctly reveal that her first thought was actually comedian Trevor Noah. He didn't read her mind. He read the physical shifting of her eyes. It's just wild.
Section 5, the power of belief. Okay, we've covered observation and we've covered memory frameworks, but now I want to introduce the real prestige of our explainer. This is the ultimate secret to success, not just in a stage performance, but literally in every single social interaction, presentation, or meeting you'll ever have in your life.
The absolute #1 factor in success is an unshakable belief that it will work. People often ask Perlman if he's afraid of getting his mind-reading tricks wrong, and his answer is yes, of course. There is massive, massive risk involved. This isn't some sleight-of-hand card trick that's guaranteed to work 100% of the time, but people in the room can feel that element of risk. So, the absolutely crucial point here is this: absolute self-fulfilling confidence. If you don't genuinely believe you can read the room, or remember the name, or absolutely nail that presentation, well, you simply won't. And to really prove this, Perlman didn't even do his grand finale himself. He actually said, "I don't plateau, I peak." So he grabs an 87-cent mesh Amazon Frisbee and just chucked it into the audience to select a totally random person. A guy named Brett caught it. Perlman brought Brett up on stage and told him that he was going to read another audience member's mind. He made Brett close his eyes and told him, "You have to believe it in order to achieve it." Brett had to really tap into that unshakable belief. The other man wrote down his secret dinner guests. Brett opened his eyes, looked right into the guy's soul with just absolute confidence, and correctly guessed the name Barack Obama. No way, right? It was a stunning moment, and it was entirely driven by the sheer power of imparted belief.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and to a big question for you. How will you apply this newfound confidence and memory framework in your very next interaction? You now know that reading people isn't magic. It's intense observation. You know you don't actually have a bad memory. You just need to listen, repeat, and reply. And you know that above all else, an unshakable belief in yourself is the absolute key to executing it all perfectly. So the next time you meet someone new, are you going to just let their name wash away like a tiny twig in the sand? Or are you going to carve it in? The choice, and honestly, the superpower, is now completely yours.